In every corner of our lives, the pursuit of pleasure and status echoes relentlessly. A dance hall beat pulsing through the night, flashes of wealth and fleeting fame, laughter masking emptiness. Yet beneath this spectacle lies a silent question. What is it all for? When meaning fades, we rush to fill the void with noise, choosing distraction over purpose. But true fulfillment waits in quieter moments, in acts of creation, connection, and legacy. The choice is ours, distraction or meaning.
Viktor Frankl's lens examines contemporary Jamaican society. Correlating his quote with the perceived moral decadence requires an analysis of cause and effect, symptom and disease. Here is a breakdown of that correlation. 1. Understanding Viktor Frankl's quote. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, founded logotherapy, which is based on the premise that the primary driving force in humans is not pleasure, but the discovery and pursuit of what we find meaningful. His quote, "Without a deep sense of meaning, we distract ourselves with pleasure," suggests that meaning is the anchor, a sense of purpose which can come from work, relationships, suffering, or creative pursuits, provides stability, values, and direction. The existential vacuum. When this meaning is absent, a void opens up. This vacuum creates existential frustration, boredom, and apathy. Pleasure as a distraction. To escape this uncomfortable emptiness and the anxiety of a meaningless existence, humans turn to immediate, intense, and easily accessible pleasures. Pleasure becomes a drug to numb the pain of purposelessness, not a genuine pursuit of happiness. 2. Correlating the quote with perceived moral decadence in Jamaica. The behaviors you describe, stupidity, vulgarity, hedonism, and narcissism, can be interpreted not as the root cause of societal decay, but as the symptoms of a collective existential vacuum, Frankl described. The vacuum, a loss of collective meaning. Jamaica, like many post-colonial nations, is grappling with a complex identity. Traditional sources of meaning have been challenged or eroded. Weakening traditional institutions. The guiding influence of family, community, and certain religious institutions has fragmented in many areas. Unfulfilled promises. Decades of political independence have for many failed to deliver on the promise of prosperity, justice, and social mobility. This leads to disillusionment and cynicism. Historical trauma. The legacy of slavery and colonialism created deep social wounds and disrupted indigenous value systems, a process that can create a long-term crisis of meaning and self-worth. The distraction, the glorification of the superficial. In the absence of a unifying positive national purpose, the vacuum is filled with what is most immediately gratifying and commercially promoted. Hedonism as a distraction. The relentless pursuit of pleasure, party culture, obsession with material wealth, hypersexualized dancing, is not necessarily a sign of a happy society, but rather a frantic attempt to feel something, to escape the underlying frustrations of economic hardship, violence, and a lack of opportunity. As Frankl would posit, it's a distraction from the unanswered question, what is my life for? Vulgarity and narcissism as armor. In a highly competitive and often harsh environment, a performance of extreme confidence, aggression, and self-absorption, often seen in dancehall lyrics and social media culture, can be a defense mechanism. It projects strength and success to mask vulnerability, insecurity, and a lack of deeper self-worth derived from meaningful achievement or community respect. Glorifying the dunce as a rejection. The celebration of anti-intellectualism and duncery can be seen as a twisted form of rebellion. When the traditional pathways to success, education, hard work, seem rigged or inaccessible to many, rejecting those values altogether becomes a perverse way to reclaim power. It's a statement. If I cannot win by your rules, I will glorify the opposite and create my own game where I am the champion. This is a profound failure of a society to offer its youth meaningful and attainable paths to dignity. Conclusion: symptom versus disease. To use a medical analogy, the hedonism, vulgarity, and narcissism are the fever, the visible, uncomfortable symptom. The loss of deep collective meaning is the infection causing it. Viktor Frankl's quote is devastatingly accurate in this context. The behaviors you lament are not evidence of a nation inherently prone to stupidity or evil. Rather, they are the loud, distracting, and often destructive pleasures a significant portion of the population uses to numb the pain of an existential vacuum. This vacuum is born from a complex mix of socio-economic inequality, political failures, cultural identity struggles, the global onslaught of consumerist values that prioritize having over being. The solution, from a Franklian perspective, is not simply to condemn the symptoms, but to address the underlying disease. It requires a cultural and national project of rebuilding meaning, fostering purpose through education, community, artistic expression, and creating a society where virtue, intelligence, and hard work are not just preached, but are visibly and tangibly rewarded with dignity and respect.